Very good.
Do you want to restart that?
Yep. That's embarrassing. No one else saw that, don't worry.
Okay. Alright, so Lotus. So I had to phonetically spell out this company because the name is very strange.
Yes.
So Lotus, they've created a new hypercar. When I say new hypercar, they've never created one before. So it's their first ever hypercar.
Yep.
It's called the Evija.
Evija.
Is
that your best pronunciation? Did you practice that in the mirror?
I didn't practice in the mirror. I listened to a lot of YouTube videos, and that seemed to be the consensus.
Okay.
So if that's wrong, just comment it on Apple Podcasts.
Which you can definitely do.
And we'll comment back.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Lotus, they're built in Britain, obviously, British company, and this is actually going to be the most powerful production car in the world. And so it's 2,000 horsepower.
From a Lotus.
From a Lotus.
Wow.
This is from the company who, for many years, only built 4-cylinder sports cars. And now they're producing a 2,000 horsepower hypercar.
That's incredible, yeah.
It's incredible. Okay, so 1,700 newton meters of torque, over 200 miles per hour, $2.5 million.
It's quite the price tag.
It's quite the price tag. I'm not sure the total number of vehicles manufactured. I'd be interested in finding that out.
You'd assume that it's like 12.
You'd assume it would be something along those lines. Okay, so it's got 5 driving modes, right? Range, city, tour, sport, track. So range mode, as you'd expect, gives you the longest amount of range. So they really just reduced the horsepower down to 1,000. And it's only rear-wheel drive at that point.
Yeah, okay.
So it's got individual motors in each wheel, as you kind of come to expect with these electric hypercars. So that's range mode, only rear-wheel drive, only 800 newton meters of torque in that mode. City mode, the rear wing is deployed just lightly, and it uses it uses a braking system that generates power when you brake. It's called
like a kinetic,
retention. I can't say it.
It's the same as curves in an F1 car.
Yes, it's very similar.
Kinetic energy recovery or whatever.
Correct. And so at that point in the city mode, it's in action. Next mode's tour mode, 1,400 horsepower maximum torque, and it's intelligent motor systems between the wheels, so it's between 2 and 4-wheel drive, depending on how you're driving. And
like a Honda CR-V. Sorry, not like a Honda CR-V. I've offended someone.
Okay, and it's also obviously got the ability to raise the front lip and stuff like that if you're going over bumps on all of those modes up until that point.
That's something that's because supercars are just so impractical with that stuff. You're just always scraping and you're like, that's $1,000.
There's nothing worse than scraping in your hypercar. And so the next mode is sport, 1,700 horsepower maximum torque. Track mode is max power, max torque. It's got carbon brakes. So batteries, obviously it's hypercar, so it's all electric. Battery placement's interesting. So in Teslas, you may or may not have seen, they put the batteries under the floor plan, like the floor pan of the vehicle. So you're basically sitting on top of them. Like the logic is that it's really low center of gravity, so the car handles really well. The issue with that is it means you're sitting quite high. So in a SUV or something like that, or even a station wagon, or a sedan or whatever the vehicle is, it's not a huge issue, and it still feels really good. But in a hypercar, you want to be sitting really, really low. That's kind of the expectation.
You definitely want to be as close to the floor as you can.
Correct. So if you've got sort of half a meter of battery under you, it's going to be less than ideal. So what they've done is they've basically mirrored their usual setup, which is the mid-engine. So they've got the batteries actually behind the driver, just between the driver and the rear wheels. So the thought being they know how to make a car handle with that kind of weight distribution. And so they've just continued along those lines. And so that's what they've done for this. A couple of interesting little quirks is on the back it's got a big Lotus badge kind of across the back. You'll see it.
Oh, yeah, that's a real classic.
So Lotus, it's a classic thing.
We're talking like a Porsche Carrera kind of vibe.
Exactly.
Like you have it all the
so
way. Yeah.
The T's sort of in the middle, and that T lights up really bright and is actually the reverse light when you're reversing. Another interesting function is on the, if you've seen it, kind of has semi-gull wing doors.
Yeah.
And that you don't press anything on the car to open that. You press it on the key itself.
Yeah.
Press the key, door opens.
So there's no control to actually like go and open the door from the without the key.
The car itself. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It doesn't have wing mirrors.
Doesn't have wing mirrors.
No, it doesn't have wing mirrors.
This is going to be some fancy tech.
Yes, it is. So instead, when you're in the car, it's got small screens on the inside of either door, and on the outside, it has these little cameras that just pop out and face backwards. And it displays that on the small screens on the inside of the doors, and that's your mirrors.
The cameras pop out, and you can.
The cameras physically pop out.
Wow! All right.
So so basically, when you start driving, these two little cameras just slot out the sides of the car like tiny little wing mirrors, and they just face backwards and give you that view.
That's a lot better than, say, a Lamborghini Countach or something, where you've got the engine in the back and you can't see past. You can't see through the back window.
Yeah.
Then you've got an impossibly far away mirror that you can't adjust.
Yes.
And then you've got to open the door and lean all the way out.
Yes.
So it's better than that, but I think it's potentially worse than just having like a mirror in a nice supercar, because my main issue is obviously what happens when it breaks.
Yep.
And you're trying to reverse and you can't. Yeah. Yes. I don't know.
Well, I would say Lotus aren't necessarily known for their reliable electronics.
Yeah.
They're known for their sourcing good engines from Toyota.
Yes.
And they're known for their excellent handling.
Yeah, well, there's two things they can get there, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how they go with that. There's no Toyota engine in this one, so it's all handling.
Yeah, it's all handling.
And then the final one is you can customize your Lotus symbol on the front of the car. You can make it gold, or you can make it mirror, or whatever you want. So yeah, being someone who has regularly driven a Lotus.
Yes, you owned a Lotus.
Still do.
Still own a Lotus.
I would love to drive this car.
And what differentiates? So, like, where's the key differentiator for a Lotus versus, say, your Toyota MR2? Where is the main difference?
Price. There's a great community around having like Lotus ownership.
Yeah.
And I would say they're similar. Light. I'm not sure in particular about the Evija, but the Lotus that I have is aluminium monocoque chassis, and so it's extremely light, something like 850 kilos in its current form.
Yeah.
And so the power weight ratio is just like nothing else.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend if you can get your hands on one for a spin. It's great fun.
There's been a lot of people walking past. It's quite funny to watch them, because
they back again.
They definitely have a he's very keen to be in the background. He's like, oh yes, I'm going to be famous.
Yeah.
I'm going to get 31 views on this video. I'm considering because like if you stay here all day, maybe all day for a couple of days, it might take a couple of days.
Yeah.
You'd eventually get someone that would go and tell the lifeguard and be like, hey, these guys are doing illegal activity.
Correct.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's always that guy. All right, there you go.
Let's
Lotus Evija. Just transition.
Yeah.
We're getting better at the transitions.